All right, welcome back to D&D. So, last time we played, which was a little while ago after our break, you had been in the last layer of the section that was like underneath the lab that was underneath the school in Talva. You managed to get the deal you wanted, sent the fiends back to the lower planes, and the Azamar remained as a mortal on the material plane instead of going back as a celestial. You were then able to be teleported back to Vaxfall, where you now find yourself. You were in the bakery turned to lab and are now out on the street. So,
The streets of Vexfall.
Oh boy,
I missed you.
weird to see the sun again.
It is weird. We were underground for years.
Maybe
Actual-
lifetimes.
Should we get an inn? Are we relatively well rested?
I think we just got teleported here, so we're probably good.
you had had a long rest ahead of time.
Okay. Well, I guess we should probably try to get home.
Okay, so I just brain farted. Did you say we're in Talva or?
You are in
Yeah, we're in.
Vaxfall.
Okay, I just had that mental brain fart. I didn't remember if we teleported. I still have PTSD.
Hmm.
Go to Halden.
Was there any other business we were waiting on here? I genuinely can't remember. It's been a while.
Bounty, you're gonna plead for leniency. I can't remember anything else.
Yeah, that had to be with the dwarves, I believe.
Specifically, you need to plead for leniency because she had accidentally killed a member of the Order of the Yard while escaping.
Yeah, so you're talking to Gale. Dun, dun, dun.
Probably something we should start back in Vaxfall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, to the best of your knowledge, he is currently in Vaxfall. He would have an office out of the Sea Tower, the actual center of government, where the Duke and the various offices and their heads are located.
Trying to think if there's any other business left here before we start heading back. Was there a teleportation chamber we'd opened up that could bring us closer? Or not yet?
Closer to where?
Back to Vaxfall.
You are in Vaxfall.
We are.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm out of it.
Yeah. I
You just
that
used
basically.
the Farcaster to bring you
Right.
from Talva to Vaxfall. So you
Yeah, so we can do Talva, Vaxfall, and to Costa.
Yep.
I think.
We should probably head home first and just let them know we're back. See what is going on with them. So I say we head back to the Crossblades first off. Get settled back in.
Yeah, and then maybe get a plan to plead the leniency.
The question there is, do I need to do that? Like, does Graham know from a legal perspective if he has to go and make that case immediately, or would versus like technically be harboring a criminal if he didn't?
make a history check.
Well, I also am in the Order of the Yard, so I guess I could tell him. Would I know this at this point?
Yeah, you are in the Order of the Yard.
I'll roll it anyway.
Yeah.
25.
Okay. Well, you know enough about the law to know that harboring a criminal would involve not planning to turn them over. So
Okay.
a short delay is not enough to actually cause any trouble, legally speaking.
Okay. So we can safely head back to the mansion without that at least causing legal trouble. Who knows what else we've got waiting for us. So let's head back to Windsong.
All right.
Well, you say that. A tall, rather well-muscled orc steps out in front of you. You can see he has a kind of maul at his side. He's kind of cracking his knuckles.
Howdy.
Hello there. A courier. I got a message for you.
Insight.
Yep, go ahead. He seems off. Maybe he's putting on like a kind of an act to put you at ease. You're not sure. The fact that he is a courier, he does appear to be telling the truth in that regard.
Okay. Graham will fold his arms and say, well, howdy then. What's the message?
He pulls out a little piece of paper, kind of flicks it a bit. I'm here to help you out. And to help you out, you got to start at the end. And then he
working backwards.
blows on the paper and some like dust swirls out from it, kind of engulfing you all.
Oh, crap.
Otto's gonna
Just
take out a
got back
pocket fan.
here.
Otto's gonna take out a pocket fan and blow the dust back. Just
As
kidding.
you are kind of coughing and choking on the dust, it clears up, and you are on the street you were on previously, although there's definitely some changes you're noticing.
All right.
You,
Just
uh,
time traveled
change.
us, didn't he?
Well, for one, you notice the air is extremely cold, even for winter. It's very dry. There doesn't appear to be a lot of moisture in the air. And the air is also very thin and rather difficult to breathe. And as you look up into the sky, the sun is not a nice bright yellow circle. It is a dim and distant red dot.
Cool.
I think I know what happened. Graham's just going to look around and go, hell.
As you look around, the buildings look very strange. They're not made of wood, stone. They are made of what appears to be metal, glass. They kind of stretch up, box you in. You notice
hate
some
temporal mechanics.
Are you in New York?
Nope, you're in Vaxball, as far as you're aware. The street has not changed.
Does the feeling in the air feel familiar?
Make a perception check.
Aha!
Well,
Can I get
Biffle
the,
can
uh,
fix
the-
one of those.
Yeah,
Can I,
The luck of the halfling is with someone.
you can
All
do it.
I got a 12.
It feels very strange here. You notice a number of kind of skeletons scattered around the city, huddled or just in great piles. You notice there are a couple of people who are walking around the streets, but they don't seem to notice you. They are acting a bit odd, but you can't quite tell just because you're a bit farther away from them right now.
Can I in it to an alternative to perception do like an arcana to see if there's magic at play?
Yes, if you'd like to. Okay. From what you can determine based on the Arcana check, most likely this is magic that has brought you somewhere else. It might be an illusion magic. You do not suspect it is illusion, however. You also get the feeling you don't feel that kind of like tingle of magic around. It is, as you stretch out your senses to try and feel the magic, it's lessened, and in some cases it seems non-existent. From what you can tell, mana has probably been run out and is on its last legs.
Can Graham feel anything related to like spiritual environment?
Yes, big A religion check.
15.
Yep. You're able to get a good feel. You feel the very heavy presence of ghosts and spirits around, more than you've ever felt in your entire life. You really feel that these spirits should have moved on to the next plane and been claimed by whatever god that they followed, and for whatever reason they have not.
This ain't good.
Graham will start getting closer to those people, but will not try to draw attention to himself.
Okay.
That's impossible.
As you approach the people, they don't seem to be paying you any attention. The one person you approach, he seems kind of touched in the head, is maybe a somewhat nicer way to put it, as he kind of is holding his temple. And you can see that he's very tall, long-limbed, and he has no hair upon his head. He's wearing these odd, rather tattered clothing. It's in some style you've never seen before. And he just seems to be muttering to himself. You can't quite hear what he's saying right now. You probably would need to get a little closer or attempt to listen in more.
Graham will motion for Fiffle, like,
Yeah.
and then point
I'll
for
drop
him
some
to-
eaves. Pickle
Drop
kind of
some
saddles up, looking nonchalant, paying attention to something else.
All right. Fiffle, are you attempting to approach stealthily?
Yeah, as someone who does not intend to be seen.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a stealth roll. If you're not at your desk, somebody else, I would say, just roll for Fiffle.
If somebody could click that would be...
Yep, I got you.
Thank you.
Let me pop the old sheet up. Where there's stealth.
Okay. Dang, that was a 2.
Easy.
Either way, as Fiffle approaches as silently as he can, he doesn't notice the person kind of like acknowledging him. The man who's kind of like muttering to himself, as you approach, you can see he has these kind of odd burns along his arms and his face. It reminds you of, you would say like a really bad sunburn.
Oh, God.
And the man just seems to be kind of muttering about, you hear, Oracle knows, baby, help us. Oracle maybe knows. And he just kind of continues this chant or just saying the same thing kind of over and over again about an oracle.
Okay. I will,
Java has destroyed this
keeping a neutral expression, as I'm slightly perturbed by this clearly crazy individual. I will kind of make my way away and report that he's muttering about an oracle. When I say muttering, I don't mean like a thoughtful, normal person. I mean muttering.
Can I make a
Kind that makes you concerned.
What oracle might mean?
Yes, if you'd like. What kind of check are you thinking?
Religion?
Yes, go ahead.
26.
Okay. Within your religious training, you know that there's many different kinds of oracles that could be related to different religion or even just special arcana, things like different wizards or sorcerers. The oracle this person seems to be referring to, you would suspect to be less to do with the gods, more to do with just standard magic, just from the way he I would say a general feel for the situation.
Okay. So he's not begging to the gods, which is its own problem. All right. Uh, let's explore the streets a little bit. Head toward Windsong, maybe.
Okay. As you continue throughout the streets, if you're doing that,
Mhm.
yep, you see more of these people. They are definitely all acting somewhat similar. They have a kind of muttering. They seem to not really be paying you any attention. The few that do notice you kind of shy away in fear. They all seem to have the same sores and burns throughout their body, and they all are wearing the kind of tattered, ragged clothing that you've never really seen before. As you continue throughout the streets, you notice that there are a number of buildings that are still just all metal and glass, and they kind of rise up higher. The taller buildings seem to have been sagging and are kind of falling in on themselves. You also notice a number of what appear to be metal carriages. You don't notice any section that have a horse hooked to the front. But see skeletons throughout them. The carriages themselves seem to be kind of broken and sagging.
Mm.
You are also getting rather parched as the air is extremely dry.
Let's keep heading toward Windsong and hope there's something good there for us.
Okay. The streets, funny enough, are relatively the same. As you go throughout them, you're able to eventually make your way back to the street where the manor would be located. The manor itself, you do not see it. This looks to have been replaced by a large building. You see a number of kind of, you would think large chimneys, although they are far larger than you would expect to see, on the top of the building. Gray and kind of sloped. The building itself is been there is no manor house. This has been completely torn down and replaced with just this large building that is the purpose you are unsure.
What the fuck? My house was here.
My stuff.
Where's my ostrich?
Is there like an entrance to get into?
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of effort. You do see that there is a kind of fence. The fence itself is not like that nice kind of metal with the railings that you see. It's kind of this link of a bunch of like small wet metal wire kind of hooked together with a kind of bundle of like this razor sharp wire running along the top instead of spikes. The gate itself in the front has fallen in.
Graham will approach the gate.
Okay. As you approach the gate, you can feel this kind of prickly sensation within the air as you approach. It's like a tingling sensation upon your skin.
Do Graham's senses tell him anything about that feeling?
Make a perception check.
We're getting irradiated.
It's like warm. And considering how cold it is, you suspect it's probably like it's a nice warmth.
What's a few gamma rays between friends?
The gang dies of
I
stage
have
4
an
cancer.
idea, and I'm just trying to like think in my head how to like go about it.
Part of
And
it. Oh, go ahead.
I just out of character. I think I remember the name, but I just out of character. I just want to say, Gleevik, just give me my fucking costume.
Does Graham see any like signs anywhere or any written stuff?
Yeah, you could see some signs kind of plastered about. The signs themselves, some of them are in common. Some of the words you're not really sure what they're talking about. And then there's like a lot of symbols around.
Are they? Do they remind me of like necromancy, or not like Graham's kind of like friendly necromancy, like actual bad?
Friendly necromancer.
That's for the friendly necromancer.
Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Uh, we went from
Uh,
a 20 something to a 12.
you're not really sure. The symbols around here do not match what you would expect to see from any magic books you've encountered. Possibly strange new magic.
Mm,
Well, Graham doesn't know what radiation is, so he's just assuming there's probably interior heat, so he's going to go in.
Yeah. The doors in front are these kind of like double metal doors. Graham is able to just push them open. The interior of the building is dark, but without the. It's warmer inside, and it's nice, and it feels good.
Yeah, good. Exactly.
The building itself is made from a lot of concrete, like Arwell used concrete to build stuff.
But not
But
this
a
much.
giant building like this, entirely of concrete, is certainly something new to you, but it certainly is not falling in, it's not sagging, it seems in relatively good condition. You do notice there's a number of bits of graffiti kind of scrawled across the walls.
Okay, what does it say?
You see, probably in the largest letters, one that just says, "This is not a place of honor."
Well, we got our first
reference.
bad Yelp review.
That's great.
Okay. So clearly we're still known in this time period.
I mean, this is normal. Is there any hints of why there's no honor here?
If you'd like, you could look around further.
Might as well.
Is that a perception or
Number of investigation
investigation?
rolls.
And you need, yeah, I'll assist you if you want.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
He doesn't need any assistance.
Oh, Graham, the kind of hallway you're in, it runs down pretty straight ahead, and you do notice there is a faint light coming from the end of it. You don't really notice anything beyond this light that would be emanating down further, so like you don't see like where you would see other hallways and doors. They look like they've been barred shut. Metal runs across them, or they've been hastily like barricaded with these kind of large slabs of concrete and anything else that could just be shoved in front.
Okay. Graham is going to listen. 16.
Okay. You hear a kind of heavy breathing from further down.
Graham is going to motion for silence, point ahead, and start creeping out, shield ready, and I guess sword in hand.
Okay.
Shit's getting a little spooky.
As you travel down this hallway, you eventually reach the end, where you can see that a large pit has been kind of dug out or quickly excavated. Sitting at the bottom of this pit, and what is creating the glow, are these kind of metal barrels that have been just like hastily stacked up. They are kind of leaking this bright green liquid, creating this large green glow. And Graham, I would like for you to give me another perception check, please.
All right. 13.
No, you don't really notice anything.
Graham will start venturing out cautiously.
As you venture out, you feel a kind of sharp cut on your face.
Graham will try not to do the spiderweb flail and check it.
You have a slash right across your face. and you see that you have brushed your cheek up against this wire that has been stretched across, and now that the blood is kind of soaking the wire, you can see that the wire is part of a larger web of these like kind of razor sharp wires that have just been stretched across.
Oh, that's not good.
You would say that the web itself is about the size of probably like a house.
Does it look like it's under tension? Like if you cut it, it would explode into like a confetti of razors.
It appears to be relatively tightly wound, yes.
Okay. Graham is going to back away and point it out.
Holy razor wire.
Yeah.
Who would put all this razor wire here, Graham? Also, where are we and what's happening?
I wish I could tell you. All right. Let's get through this. Mind your footing. Graham will attempt to mind his footing.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, Graham, where you're at now, you're at the lip of the kind of hole in the ground. The razor wire web is to your left, but you could go either around the edge of the pit, or you can go into it if you would desire.
Graham, is it possible to navigate the razor wire?
It could. You would probably have to get down on your stomach and crawl underneath it.
Okay. I guess Graham will motion for people to set up to cover him and or be ready, and then start going through, crawling slowly and carefully and listening out.
Okay. As you crawl and listen, the breathing becomes heavier and heavier.
How heavy is this breathing? Like, can you tell how big this creature is?
Big perception check.
Yay. Yay.
Yeah, it's attempting to hold its breathing to a steady rate. That being said, you're able to make out that it's relatively large. Probably, if you had to take a guess, about the size of a house.
Are we in this creature's bangs?
Maybe.
No.
How much further does Graham have to go to continue through versus double back through the barbed wire, the razor wire?
Well, Graham, you crawled for like a good 20 seconds. At that point, you have been able to pass by this kind of like razor wire web.
Okay. Graham will post up with his shield and sword ready and be ready for something to turn a corner and motion for the others to follow him.
Yeah, I'll also proceed with my weapons ready. Arrow knocked.
Fiffle is able to kind of
moving stealthily.
Okay. Fiffle, you really are just able to kind of duck your head a little bit in order to avoid the wire.
That's good.
But yeah,
Shortness wins again.
Yeah. What about Otto?
You would need to get on your stomach as well to try and crawl through.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. You're able to bypass this web without any real trouble.
All right. Graham will look to continue onward.
All right. Graham, as you continue on, you feel the section of the walkway you're on kind of give a little bit. Give me a dexterity save if you could.
Oh, no.
He gets a +5 because I'm nearby, right?
Yep.
Nice. So 13, which probably still isn't enough.
Well, Graham, you start to tumble down, and you fall about halfway down the pit, but you're able to catch yourself. So you are about 10 feet down right now.
Graham will start to climb back up.
Give me an athletics, please. And you are
19.
able to climb back up, no trouble. As you had approached the center of the pit, you could feel the heat kind of really on your skin, much, much hotter, and to the point where it's actually very uncomfortable.
All right. mind your footing. The walking is starting to give out.
Okay.
As you continue forward, you eventually reach a kind of back area, back room. Uh, this looks like it had been lived in. Some bedding, scraps of food, these kind of metal cans that have been kind of pried open with the remnants of food inside, just kind of stacked up. Bottles of water that has kind of like been drunk down to like the very end, so there's just like a little amount of water left inside, as well as just like
We on the inside of my car? Where?
My God, we must escape this hell.
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't seen the inside of your car because there's also just like scrawlings across the entire wall of various words,
Yeah.
etchings, diagrams.
Graham will attempt to examine them.
Give me a perception check.
Perception check. 16.
Various writings on the wall. You can see that it says things like "Save us," "Protect us," "Get me out of this nightmare." Greg was here, but you also see along the wall, repeated a number of times, it says, "The Oracle sees all at the tower."
Is there?
Tower, you say?
Yeah, there. What towers are in Vaxfall as we know it?
The tower that you remember the most, and
Sea Tower?
yeah, the sea tower is the one you could think of as that. I mean, at the time it was the tallest building in Vaxfall, although some of the buildings you walk by have been extremely tall.
All right, let's. Can we go further in, or should we turn around and try to head for the tower?
Further into this place? This
Yeah.
place seems to be full of madness and sadness and death.
How recent does the signs of somebody living here look? Like, is there a layer of dust on things? Does the food look recent?
Yeah, give me an investigation.
No, we'll assess.
Halfling?
Go for it.
Much better.
This looks old. You would put it to probably a few years, just because, yep, there's a thick layer of dust. It looks like it had been abandoned some time ago.
Okay.
I guess. Does there seem to be an immediate way to go deeper in right here?
Not that you can see.
Okay. Then let's carefully head back out.
Okay. Knowing the path you followed, knowing where the various hazards are, you're able to avoid them. It takes you about another 20 minutes or so to kind of avoid them all and get back. So you find yourself back at the pit where the hallway leads to the entrance where you came in from.
Start heading back out, keeping eyes and ears open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you head out of the building, exiting, the door kind of creaks open as you press through. You immediately are back into the kind of very cold air and the kind of weird reddish light that's bathing the city. And as you do so, a large shadow kind of just sweeps over you.
Graham
A
looks up.
large shadow? Is it like a winged shadow?
Yeah, and Graham, as you look up, you can see what appears to be a great red dragon
Fuck!
that just kind of flies over. And I would like everybody to give me a perception check, please.
12.
Feel free to perception me.
I will get your perception.
What I'm perceiving now is that there didn't used to be this many dragons or burned, freaked out people. Is this... Are we in a dimension where dragons took over and burned everybody, Graham?
I think we're in a dimension. This is indeed a strange and alarming universe.
Fithel, you notice that there is a figure that is sitting atop the dragon. Looks humanoid,
Yes.
from what you can see, and appears to be wearing what looks like plate.
Ah.
So guys, you guys ever know a dragon and let somebody ride it?
Just the one with that some bit sharp.
Huh. Well, it, Piffle kind of points and gibbers.
Shit.
With
Hmm.
Fithel pointing it out, you're able to now see the figure also riding the dragon.
Yep.
Awesome. Let's get some cover.
From what you can tell, the dragon doesn't appear to have noticed you. It has just flown overhead and continues on its way.
Does it seem to be flying towards the sea tower?
It is flying in that direction, but from what you can see, it's not heading to the tower itself.
Okay.
Did we see the tower from here? Did we establish that? It's still here?
As you look around, you can see that there are a number of large buildings that are kind of blocking, but you do see in the distance, far, far distance, the top of the sea tower kind of sticking out over the horizon.
Okay.
As you are peeking through some gaps in buildings, especially as a lot of buildings have collapsed and are kind of opening up the skyline more.
All right.
Mm.
Although from
Let's
yeah,
head that away.
well, the area you see has been blocked off by like the large amount of rubble from a tower that has kind of sagged and fallen over. Um, you suspect you would probably need to head more towards the bay to kind of walk around.
Okay. Let's do that.
Okay. As you walk that way, you pass more people. You pass a number of skeletons wearing strange clothing. Some of them are wearing these odd armor that looks to be metal and some kind of material you've never encountered before. They are holding weapons that look similar to Fern's rifle in form, but much more changed, boxy, larger, and just a different sect-like
Skeletons, though.
style you've never seen before.
Hmm.
And did they used to have skeletons walking around as guards? I don't remember that.
No, can't say as they did.
Mm.
Okay.
Graham will investigate the bodies.
Yeah, give me an investigation, please. Oh, is that
19.
19? Yeah. The bodies themselves are. They are mummified within the armor itself. The armor, you can see, it has a clear faceplate, and the person inside has appeared to have died from some sort of immediate shock. You don't see any violence upon the actual body itself. The armor was in good shape at some point. You don't see any like marks indicating it had like suffered any damage, but it has worn over the years. You do notice a number of bodies have been kind of lined up against a wall, and each one appears to have some sort of a hole in the back of the head, as well as like a number of holes that have been dug into the actual like wall that they've been put at. It looks like they were shot.
It's a good sign. Well, something happened here. Let's look for the sea tower.
Okay. As you make your way to the bay, to the actual docks themselves, you can see as you look out that there is no ocean. It's a large, flat salt plain stretching far beyond the horizon. As far as your eye can see, a number of boats are just resting in the sand. They look rusted and worn. A number of skeletons lined up at the actual bay itself. The docks, probably the most you've ever seen in one place in this city, as it looks to be several hundred, maybe a few thousand.
What the fuck? Um, yes,
Mhm.
keep on moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you continue on, the sun has begun to dip below what little of it remains, and the streets are getting darker and darker, and the kind of people that are mumbling along the road as it gets darker and they begin to notice the dusk, they look around fearfully and are beginning to kind of dart and try and find some sort of shelter.
Yeah. Fiffle, we got to find some place to lay low.
Okay.
Is there any place to lay low?
I can seek out a place to lay low.
Make a perception check.
Yeah.
Can we assist?
Yes. Or, yeah, go ahead, make your own roll.
Oh, there we go.
I will roll for Fiffle since I think
Sure.
Jeremy's.
Thank you.
Oh,
Well,
Jesus.
Graham, you are able to see that there is a building. It has a metal sheet that has been kind of covering the front that looks like it rolls up, but you do notice that it is partially open, maybe enough for like Fiffle to squeeze through, but something larger like you or Otto wouldn't be able to. But it looks like it could possibly be open, maybe with a little elbow grease.
Graham will go over and try to elbow grease it.
All right, give me an athletics if anybody helps.
I will assist.
Go ahead, roll with advantage. Well, it
27.
doesn't matter. That 27. Graham, your farm strength allows you to just kind of like, and you just pull it up, and after it clears whatever had caught it, it kind of rolls up relatively smooth, although very loud as it does so.
Graham will quickly dart in.
Okay. Everybody joins him, or
Yep. Yes.
Mhm.
okay.
Time for the radiation Nazgul.
Well, you are inside. The kind of shutter that you used, that you opened, remains open. The building itself looks to be some sort of a shop at one point. Looks like there are a number of these kind of metal cabinets that have been kind of shut tight. They're nice, reflective metal, large, heavy, cold to the touch.
Graham will try to lower the gate back down to about where it was.
Okay.
And then check out those cold metal thingies.
The shutter does seem to close without too much trouble, especially after you have unjammed it. And it's able to return back to its previous position. The actual metal containers, if you'd like to investigate them, give me an investigation roll, please.
I
Will.
will assist you.
Okay.
Never mind, you don't need
26.
Search those filing cabinets.
Right, from what you can see, the cabinets are these kind of large, about human size. It's a single door with a handle on it that you could kind of like think to open. Each of them has this kind of thick cable that runs out the back into the wall. The cabling sort of reminds you of what you'd seen in the Shaper's Lair.
Don't like that. Graham will try to open it and look inside.
As you open, a number of rotten foodstuff falls from it and kind of like seems to just kind of pile at your feet as it had been kind of held in place by the door. And by opening it, you just find a number of like rotten fish at your feet.
No
To the
Blanco mac and
fish.
cheese or anything.
Heh.
Terrible. Terrible filing cabinet.
Do the fish, aside from being rotted, look like recognizable as fish he would know?
Seems strange to you. They are larger than you'd expect. They seem to have these kind of strange markings on them. The scales have worn away in certain spots. One fish you look at seems to have this kind of like cut on the neck around as if it had been like something sharp had collared it. The fish have a strange scent beyond just the actual like rotten flavor to it. It is also a lot heavier than you would expect. And as you kind of like investigate it, you can see this like silver liquid kind of pouring from the mouth.
Of the dead fish.
Mm-hmm.
Graham will avoid touching that liquid. Can I make an investigation on it?
Yes, please do.
19.
Graham, you suspect that this is something that's used in magic and alchemy and different kinds of spells. You believe it's mercury. It's also used in hat making.
Okay. Does Graham know that mercury is bad news bears from his view of modern knowledge?
He knows that a lot of hat makers tend to be a little odd. And most people who deal with mercury in its pure form without having it mixed into any potions or use any spells do tend to be very different, suffer from shakes and other disorders. It's suspected to be relatively dangerous to work with if you're not careful.
Okay, Graham will not touch it and step back away.
Okay.
Now, why the hell would they stuff food supposedly with mercury?
Poison them?
Maybe.
Poison people who eat the fish?
Yep.
Who would have eaten these fish? They're just in a filing cabinet. Who keeps fish in a filing cabinet, and why do I know what a filing cabinet
Have they been in a lot of interrogation rooms? Hmm. Is there anything else of interest in this room?
Seems to be relatively quiet in terms of like things that you can see around. The room itself is not that large, and the building itself is really not that big. I mean, you see a door leading to the like a back section.
Graham will cautiously head that way.
Okay. As you are heading towards the door, everybody hears a shriek from outside.
When you say shriek, you mean shriek made by a human voice?
You believe so. You believe this is something that would be... Make an insight check.
Okay. That's always good. Jesus.
Let me do mine now.
Good luck.
Graham, you're not sure. You suspect maybe a shriek of pain. And that's really all you can get. It was muffled by the door that you'd shut, so it's difficult to really get a good idea of what it is.
Does it sound like a banshee?
No, it didn't sound anything of that nature.
Okay.
Graham is going to head toward that back door and see if there's any windows or something he might be able to carefully look out.
Okay. Yeah, Graham, as you open the door, you can see that this is some sort of an office. A metal table has been placed in the front. Some sort of strange box sits on the surface of this table. The kind of glass in the front has been smashed in. But there is a small window, about yay big. You'd have to kind of pull yourself up to look through it.
Graham is going to inspect the area first before moving into it.
Okay.
22.
Yeah, looking around, you can see a little more. The desk has been kind of like pilfered. The drawers have all been pulled open. Things have been scattered around. More graffiti has kind of littered the walls, and it looks like at one point somebody was living here. As you can see, they have kind of put down some thin bedding material. But from what you can tell, nobody has been in here for probably a few months to years.
What does the graffiti say? Or is it more of the same?
Very similar. Knowing what to look for now, you do definitely see it saying things like, "The Oracle awaits at the tower. The Oracle knows all."
The Oracle eats everyone who goes to the tower, and that's why you don't hear anything beyond go to the tower. Piffle openly speculates this as we.
I mean, it wouldn't be the strangest thing.
Yeah, so bear with me, guys. A lot of people going to the tower, nobody coming from the tower. I'm just saying. Just saying.
No, there's not much else for it, though. Graham is going to climb up and try to look through that window.
Okay. Graham, as you pull yourself up to the window, you can see that one of the people who had been kind of on the street, kind of wandering around,
Is dead.
they're on the ground. They have fallen. They either did not notice that it is getting dark, or they weren't able to get to inside quickly enough. But there are these kind of like figures hunched over it. You're not sure what's going on, what they are doing.
If I look at them, can I divine sense to see if there's some kind of like aberration or something?
Yes, go ahead.
Let me see. Here, I'll tell you what it does. It's not a roll so much as a. Oops.
It's an oops.
Well, it's not like linking. Hang on. It's Doom. Why doesn't it link? Where
It's been
are
weird
you?
lately.
I just hit the button, right? And it's supposed to share it.
Well, you're just doing a divine sense, right?
Yeah, it's not. It's just the presence of strong evil. Let's see. Let me tell you, celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet.
You do not get the sense that this is any of those.
Okay. Also, if it spams later, you know what happened.
Yes.
I guess Graham will just try to watch the things and see if he can make any sense of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I will also watch.
All right.
See if they do anything interesting.
It only takes a few moments, probably less than a minute. This creature stops hunching over. The rest of them kind of stand as well. Full height, they are about the size of. Oh, there it is. About the full height, they are the size of a dwarf, but they are definitely thin, lengthy. They have kind of these long claws on their hands. As they turn, you can see that they are covered like blood on the mouth and their fangs, large yellow eyes, and these kind of long open ears. They are just these black tattered clothes that they apparently wearing, and they kind of look around and quickly like run to a wall, and you see them very quickly just climb up it and get onto the roofs.
Damn.
Do they look like a version of those things that we saw in the Shadowfell? All those dogs that were chasing us at one point?
Nope, they do not look like that. You would suspect they look almost vampiric in nature if it weren't for the fact that your divine sense did not show them as being undead.
Does Graham get any sense of them from religion?
Yeah, if you'd like, make a religion roll.
Jesus.
No, you don't suspect these are anything that have any connection to any religion. Make a insight check.
All right. Don't let me down.
18, that's a little better.
Thinking about it, they sort of remind you a lot of drow you've encountered. But
But
drow
with
are much
wings and
taller.
blood and yellow eyes.
Drow are much taller. These are short.
Half drow?
Drow generally don't drink blood.
Half drow vampire. Asterion.
They are shorter. They have fangs. But the ears really are kind of what give it away as them being elves in nature, and the skin sort of gives you the kind of gray. It's
Does
a
it look
pale
like an
gray.
exsanguinated drow?
It is a pale gray. They do not appear to be exsanguinated. However, they do appear as if they are very thin and very, like you could definitely see like the ribs even with the clothing on.
Are they talking?
They did not say anything.
Are they communicating in any capacity that we can tell?
From the brief moment you saw them, you would have not been able to determine if they attempted to communicate with one another.
So
They did seem to follow the one that stood up first and then climbed the wall. The rest followed as if it was the leader.
okay. Do we want to try to strike out toward the tower tonight, or try to hole up in here till morning?
Do we see a lot of them, or can we tell if they were like finding people by sense or like sight or what? Or are they patrolling?
You only saw the six. How they actually discovered that person, you're not sure.
What did they do to the person?
Ate him.
Yeah, he looks torn
Right,
open.
so I vote that we stay here until those things go away.
Okay, fair.
Okay.
All right. You're going to hold down for the night.
Think so.
Yeah.
Let's post watch and all that, and try to be very quiet and not light any fires.
Okay. Well, the smell in the room is horrible from the
That's
fish.
like the situation.
Oh yeah, can Graham try to use cantrips to at least purify it to not be stinking rot?
Yeah. You have what spell would you use to do that?
I think I should have. Let's see, I've got mending, that wouldn't work.
I mean, you could stick two fish together and
Do I have weld them together? Do I have purify food and drink? I don't seem to. Shit.
well, you have
Most
time.
I could think is maybe thaumaturgy.
Yes, if you'd like, you could attempt to, because I believe that does let you change sense.
Yeah.
You could not change the sense so much as you would just allow it to,
Not be so stank.
yeah, for a minute. All right.
I cast fish stank less.
Graham, what scent would you like to use to try and cover this up?
He's gonna try to make it neutral, like let's say like freshly cut grass.
Okay. You've created a scent of freshly cut grass over this fish. After a minute's time, the scent fades, and you smell the fish again.
Ah.
And then you hear a moo because now you've gotten a cow to come in here looking for food. All right. So I guess we do watches.
Okay, need to stay in the ear.
Yep. Who would you like to post up first?
Graham will.
Okay. Graham, give me a perception roll as you are taking first watch.
Finally.
As you are on the watch, you can see through the small window a number of those creatures kind of crawling along the rooftops. Those are only a few you see. You suspect there are more of them. Throughout the night, you hear the occasional shout or yell farther in the distance, but you don't see anything approach the window.
Okay. Graham will avoid giving them a reason to as much as possible.
What a hero this Graham guy is. All right.
Who's on second watch?
I can do second watch.
Okay.
Let me hit my Perceptorino. Where is the button? Big Chockerino.
Yep. You don't see anything.
Okay, let's just do Fiffle's watch.
Okay. Fip would like to give me a perception check.
Okay.
Got me it.
Got
Fipple, you gotta kind of like pull yourself up to look out the window if you want to see it. But out the window, you see that there are these kind of like glowing green footprints that have walked by.
Yeah.
How big are they?
Dinner plate sized.
Okay.
Probably in
So
the last
guys-
few hours they've gone by.
I feel like hiding was the move.
Hmm.
I don't like anything that's going on outside.
Seems a bit bullshit.
You also notice this kind of weird gas that is like filling the street. This strange fog. It is tinged green, and it's kind of like kind of filling the streets.
Spooky gas.
Yeah, whoever's in charge around here these days, they don't like anybody to be out at night on pain of spooky gas and vampire elves.
It also seems to be kind of coming in the window a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Oh. See if we can shut that window a little better.
Well, the window's shut, but whatever weather stripping was done has rotted away over the years.
Mm,
Well, don't be breed that stuff. Stay away from the window.
eh.
As the gas kind of flows in a little bit, it begins to, it just comes in and it just pools around your feet at the bottom.
I get top bunk.
And it's beginning to fill up more and more. Otto and Graham are asleep. They don't notice this. Gas just filling the room as it's slowly beginning to pool around them.
So I guess I'll wake them up.
Oh boy. If he
I
wakes
know you
us
guys
up,
enjoy the benefits of a long rest, but there's poison gas pooling around you.
Yeah, that's not good.
sure things. Is there anything to like use as like temporary caulking on that window to stop the gas from like getting in?
Give me an investigation roll.
I will assist.
No, I don't want to intimidate the room on Fiffle.
Bully it into compliance.
You see nothing like a caulk. You do see that there's like some kind of old, rotted, kind of like pulp-based paper in some of the drawers. Some sort of glue, you think, sitting in a little jar.
Well, I would like to take that and I would like to combine it with my tavern keeping abilities to reinforce this window. I don't know if there's any like skill I can run this on.
Well, as a tavern keeper, you've never actually had to do anything like that before.
When you're cheap and broke, yes, you have.
This is you've not like seen the pulp paper, base paper like this before, and the actual jar of glue.
I guess what I'm saying is, in like,
You can do it. You can try
I
it,
will,
but
I will attempt to do it to the best of my ability with what, and work with the material I have.
give me a. What would this be?
I feel like this would be a combination of strength and possibly dexterity.
Yeah, this is gonna give me a sleight of hand check, as you basically have to like plop this all on there and like put it on to the best of your ability. Okay.
Can we assist?
If you'd like.
Okay, I'll roll again.
Nice.
All right. The gas begins to flow in, despite your best effort. But with Graham and Fiffle's help, you're able to plaster more on to the point where the gas is only flowing in a little bit.
Hooray! We're gonna live, guys. We might
Is
live.
it sinking to the bottom of the room? Is it like heavier than air?
Yep, it's pooling around the bottom. It is not flowing upwards. Although as it begins to like pool, it is getting higher and higher. It is currently at ankle height.
Can we climb higher in this room? Is there like higher elevation?
There's like a desk, but the room itself is only a single story.
Okay. Are there any like stains on the walls that might suggest how high up it rises normally? If it like leaves anything on the walls like a residue?
You don't see it leaving any residue. You don't see any stains on the wall indicating that it has a set limit.
Okay. Let's start looking for higher ground now so we're not desperate and noisy when we're out of options.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is there any? Is there like a loft or something?
No, this building you're in was only a single story.
Okay. Does there look like someone may have made a compartment that's higher up, maybe hidden or like usable to avoid this?
Give me an investigation roll.
I will help again.
Oh, I don't want to intimidate the room. That'd be kind of fun.
Otto, looking around, you can see that there are paneling on the ceiling, so it's not like wood or stone. It's some sort of plaster. And you could push it open, and as you kind of push it open, you can see that there's like a hollow space in the ceiling with a number of like wires running throughout it and pipes. You could probably pull yourself up into it. You're not sure how much weight it could support, but
I'll be right back. I have to use the restroom.
okay.
How big is the space? Like I will fit in there.
Barely, yeah.
Does FIFA want to go up there and see like how much bigger it is since he can fit in a little easier than me?
Sure.
All right, I will lift FIFA up there. Help him.
All right. As Fiffle looks up, it's dark inside. It's very difficult to see.
He's got goggles of light, so he can see a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's right. He does. Yes, with the goggles of night, you can see that this area is. It's not meant for crawling around. You could probably fit Graham, Otto, and yourself up there. But once again, you're not like as you put weight onto the like just the kind of brackets that are holding this these panels into place. They're not really meant to support a lot of weight. You would be gambling in essence to actually go up and hide in there.
Yep, pretty sketchy up there. I don't know about it. I could hide up there, and I may, but you guys probably get me.
Is there any like sign that someone used that to hide before?
Not that you could see.
Ay.
The gas is flowing up to about knee height now, waist height for Fiffle.
Let's.
Well,
I'll put Fiffle on my shoulders
Well,
and
Fiffle's
let's.
up in the thing now
Okay.
because he fit there. We can all fit up there. It'll be tight. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, but it might fall down because it's flimsy.
Is there anything that we can put under it, that Grandma and I can put under it to support, like where it might be a little weak?
You could maybe drag one of those metal cabinets you saw.
Let's do this, Graham.
Let's try to be quiet. Maybe we
Yeah.
can lift it
Athletic.
together to keep
Athletic
it from
flow, I
dragging
guess,
across the
Ian?
floor.
Yep, one person making athletics. Because this is so large and heavy, it does require two people to move it.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is just one person making an athletics roll. One single.
I'll make it.
Okay.
Yep.
25.
Graham, with Otto's help, you are able to kind of tilt it back, and this is very, very heavy, and you are able to kind of maneuver it slowly and bring them into the office and kind of put it under the section where you want to hide. There's still a gap of about 6 inches
Okay.
where it would need something else stuffed between it to provide a little more support.
Is there anything around that looks like it could fit in there?
You did notice reams of paper that might be able to work.
Okay.
Okay, let's use that, I guess.
Okay.
Unless we see anything else.
The paper is kind of rotten, but it does fit within.
Yeah,
Not
beggars can't be choosers.
great, but it works a little bit. The gas has begun to pool up to about waist height for you, chest height for Fiffle.
Okay. Let's
Well, Fipple's
try to
up there already, I
quickly
think.
do the thing.
Yep. He's not down there. I'm just saying it would be chest height for him
Oh,
if he
okay.
was.
Okay, I just misunderstood.
But you're able to climb up inside. As you put the weight onto it, you can feel the brackets pull out, and you fall and find that you're being held up by the steel metal cabinet, and you do not fall further.
Hooray!
Okay. Let's get comfy.
I
Well, you
got cards. We can play cards.
Do you play cards?
We do.
Just assume we
Fiffle
do
has
while we
cards.
pass the time. Fiffle's gonna learn a new game to swindle people with.
Yeah. Sounds great.
All right. Takes a few hours, but you eventually see the gas recede, and the room is clear again underneath. It looks like it only reached about chest height for you, although it would have been above Fiffle's head if he did remain down there.
Well, small favors. Let's wait for the light to start coming up and then get toward the tower.
You wait about another 30 minutes, and then you don't see any real light as the window has been plastered shut, but you no longer see any
Fiffle
gas.
also described to us the footsteps he saw. The steps, the green, like nuclear.
Oh, yeah.
Did Fiffle describe
Yes,
that?
he did. Fiffle's not keeping secrets about green glowing footsteps.
Okay.
I guess we can. I don't even know. Theorize what it is.
I mean, I feel like it probably is another nighttime guardian slash,
Executor.
eat the population there past curfew type creature.
Let's
Curfew
head out
keeper.
then.
That's what I'm gonna call them. Curfew keepers.
The nibbler.
Keepers. They're like the crab people.
They don't taste like crab.
Tastes like treachery and deceit.
Mm.
All right. Let's go.
All right, let's roll out.
Okay. You leave the building?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You find yourself back on the street. The area seems clear. You see a number of the kind of people having left their buildings and are still kind of like on the street, slowly but surely. You were very hungry, very parched.
Graham is going to dig into our rations, I think.
Okay. All right. You consume a ration.
Mm-hmm.
And does the ration cover water?
I don't know. Graham would hopefully have some in like water skins and whatnot.
Just checking.
I could always magically make some.
Yep. Yeah, the ration would not be a it would not have any liquid or any water in it, so you just need to like get some. So you would just do a create food and water.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yep. You go to cast the spell, and you are not able to manifest the mana needed to actually create it. You don't waste a spell slot, but you are not able to get any mana to like focus.
Well, that ain't good.
Honestly, when you brought up the water thing, I was like, I knew what you were aiming for.
Yep.
I was like, oh god, he's making a point.
Graham is going to look at the people and see if maybe they're heading towards like a water source.
Yeah, they seem to be kind of shuffling around in a general direction.
Let's follow the locals, I guess.
You can see them gathering up around a kind of pit in the ground. Looks rather hastily dug. Um, and you can see that they are kind of dipping their hands in and drinking water from this pit.
Are they having any adverse effects from drinking water from this pit?
They aren't keeling over and dying, if that's what you're wondering.
I mean, I'm paranoid, so thank
You
you,
can
Matt.
see the
Working with you has done this to
water.
me.
From what you can see in the water, it looks fine. It's clear. There's no strange particles in it. You don't notice any bugs, anything like that. It looks perfectly fine.
Are these people talking?
They are mumbling, muttering. Some of them are kind of like chanting mantras, but actually talking to each other, no. Make a perception or an insight check, whoever.
I'll do insight.
Okay.
I'll reroll.
Graham, you got to get the feeling that this is less of a more deliberate action and seems almost animal-like in nature in how they gather around this watering hole.
Okay. Graham is going to collect some water and find some place we can boil it.
Okay. Yeah.
It seems wise.
I don't think you can boil out a radiation, but Graham doesn't know what a radiation is, so.
The water's, it's fine, it's clear. It's probably the clearest water you've seen in a while. And you're able to collect a good portion of it, at least a gallon with the various things you have on you.
Okay. Graham will find some place to boil.
Okay.
Make a little fire.
You do have your, you have the kit that lets you, the tinder kit that lets you start a fire.
Okay.
You'd have access to enough stuff to create a fire without too much trouble. So you were able to create a fire. You were able to boil the water. You see that begin to bubble after about 10 minutes.
Okay. Graham will try to chill touch to cool it. Actually, no, chill touch isn't cold. It's necrotic. I can't.
Yeah. I mean, you
I
could
have a
if you.
thrust. Oh. I don't. I guess just wait for it to cool down like blowing on tea.
All right, takes about another 10, 20 minutes, but eventually it cools down enough, and you're able to drink it.
Such hydration.
It's very refreshing. It has a fun, tingly sensation as you drink it.
Metallic aftertaste.
Yeah.
Ah, boy. Graham's going to learn about ionization today.
But, yeah, it quenches your thirst. Your dry lips are not so dry anymore. And you have, after you all drink, do you all drink from it or just Graham?
Graham is definitely going to offer it up if people want.
Yeah, I drink it.
Okay.
Knowing that without water I die.
Yeah, you all see this, like, it has the metallic aftertaste. It has the fun tingling sensation in your mouth. It actually feels kind of good.
Fresca.
You have about half a gallon left of the water.
Okay. Potent potables. Let's resume our journey. Between rations and the water, we should be covered on that front for now.
You suspect you could probably last another day. At least. Before you have to go out and get more.
Get stuff, yeah. Okay.
As you continue on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You notice that you see a few bodies throughout the street. probably about 6, maybe 7. You pass by. They all look as if they've suffered the same wounds, been torn open, and seems to have been drained of blood.
Mm-hmm.
The bodies look like they're changing after being in the gas.
The bodies that were in the gas, they appear mummified.
Huh. Awesome.
The skin has quickly dried up. They seem to be suffering from rigor mortis rather quickly, despite the fact that their wounds do seem fresh. You don't think that the gas was, great for them.
Well,
Wasn't great for me either. I mean, I've
yeah,
been on a
no.
lot of gases in this campaign, and
Yeah.
Gas is fun. It's a fun trap.
It's a surprise tool that'll help us later. All right, head to the sea tower.
All right.
Mhm.
As you continue on, you do see more of the city kind of having been changed. You pass an area that looks like a large fireball has been just cast in the center. As you can see, a round kind of circle. That area is completely burned and dried, and the buildings around it have been pushed out from it.
Damn.
And it's large, much larger than any fireball you've ever seen.
Lucian was here.
Around here? Yep. That's what we both were thinking.
The city does seem... There's other problems you see with the city.
Ow.
You can see just an area where one building has fallen and collapsed into another, and all the windows have shattered, and these kind of large glass shards are just stuck into the ground, creating a strange forest of broken glass. The glass itself is mirrored, so it creates this strange sensation as you look and just see this like razor sharp forest of reflections of yourself.
Interesting. How do we look?
Pretty spiffy, I think.
You seem to be, your skin is looking kind of like gray. Your eyes are a bit sunken. You look a little different than you remember.
Uh-oh.
But for why, you're not sure. You see fine. Maybe a little bit of a tummy ache, but, that's nothing unusual.
We think we better hustle.
To the tower.
Tower of Doom.
To the tower.
You're
All
in
right.
danger.
As you make your way through the street, you do eventually arrive at the sea tower. This is actually one of the areas that looks relatively as you remember it. The sea tower appears to be the same shape. It looks like it's the same material. You notice that the top have suffered some sort of damage, but the rest of the tower does appear to be the same. The gate around, however, is a lot larger and more fortified than you remember. It is made out of metals and different materials you've not encountered before, and is kind of shut. There are a number of skeletons piled up in front. It looks like they died attempting to get inside.
Do they look as old as the rest?
They appear pretty old.
Okay. Well, Graham steps in and over the corpses.
Okay. Well, the gate is shut and barred, so Graham's going to have a little bit of a tougher time pushing through.
Think you could get the lock?
I could try the lock.
All right, Fiffle, go ahead.
The lock.
This is a lock like you've never seen before. You're going to have to roll as a disadvantage.
We need to figure out what YouTube is and look up lock-picking lawyer.
Still, though.
Oh, is it the tools, right? Right.
Yeah, the thieves' tool.
Where is it?
Okay. A 17. The lock is old. It is worn. It has suffered damage throughout the years. It takes about 10 minutes of careful kind of like probing and prodding. Uh, and it looks like it had some additional locking mechanism that seems to have failed over the years. The mechanical portion you are able to pop open, and eventually the gate creaks open and opens up about a foot.
Graham will try to shimmy through.
Graham shimmies through, finds himself in the courtyard. The courtyard itself doesn't look very great. You know, all the grass is dead. The bits of nature are just collapsed. The trees are all dead. There are no flowers. The grass is dried up and cracks under your feet. It is no longer alive. The fountain that was in the front is dry and empty. It has suffered a number of damage. This place looks like it was abandoned many years ago, and there's a number of skeletons within, wearing that kind of strange armor, wielding the strange weapons. They look like they died attempting to keep the gate shut.
Okay. Let's cautiously head in.
Okay. Once you're inside, past that kind of fortified gate in the front, the actual sea tower isn't locked. The door is open. The kind of thick wooden door with the barring of metal across it has been replaced with a fully metal door that just kind of swings open.
Okay.
As you enter in further, you can see that there are additional doors. They appear to be glass, and they look like they are kind of like shut. You'd probably have to like kind of pry them open.
All right. Let's try that.
Okay.
Graham will look for signs of tampering or anything.
Give me an investigation roll.
I will assist him. Never mind, he doesn't need me.
Graham,
Graham
you
had his
notice.
coffee.
Graham, you don't notice any tampering. In fact, what you do notice, however, it appears to be some sort of a switch. You can read that it says emergency release.
Graham will try to hit the emergency release.
Whatever mechanics were keeping the door shut, once you hit the release, they just fall apart, and the door kind of just like gently pops open. And with very little in the way of physical effort, you're able to just slide it open and walk through.
All right. In we go.
As you enter into the tower fully and into the front area, you've been to this tower once, twice before, as you have had business with the Duke, and you've had other business inside. The area looks a little different. You do notice the winding steps that kind of go around the edge and head up to the ceiling. In the center, you notice a metal kind of room, very small, just kind of sitting there. Doesn't look like it's used for storage. Not sure what its purpose is.
Graham will give everything a once over as we go.
Okay. Yeah, give me a perception on that room if you would like, or on whatever you're looking at. Yeah. Take a look at it. You can see that apparently it is in a metal shaft, kind of sitting at the bottom of this shaft. You can see that there are a number of buttons that are like on the interior. There is a door on the very top of this this room. It looks like it's not been used in many years.
All right. Are there any lights on?
Nope.
Is there anything that looks like there was footsteps or activity?
Looks pretty quiet from what you can see. Probably nothing's been here for quite a long time.
All right. Graham will try pushing the buttons, I guess.
push the buttons to kind of go in, pop back out. You don't notice any change. You push in one of the buttons and it sticks in and does not pop back out.
Do I hear anything moving?
You do not.
Okay. Graham will exit the box and continue trying to find a way inward.
Okay. Well, you do have the spiraling staircase that leads up.
That'll do.
All right. You begin the ascent upwards. You pass by a number of rooms. The Sea Tower had been the center of government for not only Vaxfall, but the actual Viderheim continent itself. These rooms have all been either blocked off, barred, barricaded. It looks very much as if it has been set in a way where you cannot progress any direction except upwards.
Okay, off we go.
As you continue up, you eventually find yourself at a open area, very much at the top of the tower, almost at the very top. This larger room is one you would recognize as being where the Duke would typically have his quarters and his office and would be able to do business with his large conference room. All these walls have been knocked down to create a larger, one single open room. Inside, you can see a strange shape sitting in the center. It looks like a large, fleshy orb, and it kind of rises up. You can see that there are 10 chains linked to the various eye stalks from this creature. It kind of turns towards you. You can see this large, tooth-filled mouth. But the eyes, you can see, each stalk would have an eye on it, as well as a large eye in the center. They have all been burned shut.
Huh. So the thing is alerted to us? Like, it clearly knows we're there?
It seems to have sensed your presence in some way.
Graham will move off away from the others, just in case, and then say, howdy?
You have come to see the oracle creature. Come to see me, talk to me.
I guess. What happened here?
The Dread Warrior destroyed the world.
The Dread Warrior. Do I recognize that?
The name doesn't seem familiar to you.
Dread Warrior, huh?
It right atop
What did they call the Dread Warrior in ancient Viderheim?
His name unknown. The creature, the warrior, rides the great red dragon.
Oh.
For its masters, it destroyed the world and brought the end. It ripped up the land.
Who were its masters, and why did they want that?
I don't know. It is the monster. It rides the dragon. It wields the magic. It's magic in its arms with swords beyond measure.
Right, the
How
monster.
long ago has this happened?
Century, maybe. The world
Relatively
fell.
recent.
The world died. But the masters came long ago and destroyed the world and left it dead. And I've been here for so many centuries and millennia waiting.
You said this just happened a century ago.
I cannot tell the time. I have been here trapped and locked for so long.
What have you been waiting for?
I am hoping you can kill me and put me free.
I guess. What,
I mean, we've killed a lot of people, to be fair.
We're not from here. I think we're from your past.
You must summon the Dread Warrior. The great horn on the ceiling, on the roof, will summon him. You must face him in battle, and he will send you back to where you're from.
But
Why? How do you know?
none of this makes any sense. This guy isn't an orc, is he?
He's a beholder, I think.
You would recognize this from, you've never seen a beholder yourself, but you recognize it from the stories. Typically a lot more dangerous, when they don't have all their eyes seared shut.
Can I insight it?
Okay, go ahead.
20.
It's more together than the majority of things you've encountered, but this creature does seem to have very much lost its mind over the years.
Hey, just like us.
Busby. Why would he send us back?
So the Dread Warrior, they don't remember his name. He's just a Dread Warrior.
You are from the past. You don't belong here. He will not send you. He will be able to cause you to go back to where you were from.
God, I hope so. Why would he do that? He seems like not a nice guy.
I cannot say.
All right. Well, thank you. Is there anything else we can do for you before we,
Please, it's been so long. I don't want to wait any longer.
Graham will,
Want the sweet release of death?
Yep.
Well, Graham, it doesn't resist, so you're able to just...
Mercy kill it. And
Yep.
He does try to make it merciful.
The creature slumps down to the ground and kind of like the tendrils and tentacles on the head just lose all motion, and it kind of falls in and collapses in on itself.
All right. I guess let's go find us a Dread Warrior.
The horn, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta use the horn, Graham.
Well, you do see that there's an additional staircase that leads further up.
Just go use the horn.
Let's go.
Let's go to Candy Mountain, Graham.
Candy Mountain, Charlie.
Sounds like a fun place.
They
All
took
right, let's
my
go.
kidneys.
Let's go toot the horn.
All
All right, let's do it.
As you go up the staircase, there is a ladder at the top with a trap door.
Okay.
You go up through the trap door?
Yep.
Okay. You find yourself at the very top of the sea tower. The roof has been stripped away at some point from some calamity, and you are exposed to open air. The thin air still has a somewhat strong breeze as it blows through. The area itself is relatively large, as this is just the top, just stripped away of all rooms and all walls, leaving you in an area with about, you would say, diameter maybe 120 feet. There is a large horn that is kind of sitting in the center. Looks familiar to you. It's one you would blow onto. Looks similar to a hunting horn. It has been dragged up and kind of chained in place.
Okay. Graham will give things one look around, and then he will blow the horn.
Okay. Give me... Oh, this would be in athletics, as you really just got to, blow into this thing as hard as you can. Okay, that was a 16?
Yep.
Okay. You were able to blow into the horn, and it releases a just massively ear-shattering, sound from it. And you finish blowing, and the area feels very still. And about a minute passes, and then that large shadow of the dragon sweeps across. And you can see it just in the air, circling. And it begins to descend.
Does so we see the guy on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, ready up.
Does the silhouette of this guy remind us of Sharp?
It's humanoid in nature. You cannot quite make it out just yet, but the dragon lands, and you can see all four limbs.
Is it the same dragon we saw before? Like not in this session, like way back then from.
Oh yeah, yeah. You saw this thing relatively up close, and this looks similar, larger, older, but you can definitely see a lot of the scars that had marred that dragon is on this one as well. The saddle and the sash and the decorations across the dragon are almost perfect matches. You can see the warrior sitting on the actual dragon itself. You can't tell if it's sharp. There is a helmet on the person.
Howdy.
Hey, I know that dragon.
Sharp? Question mark?
You ask him that?
That's yeah.
The figure looks at you. Sharp?
I guess not then.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
So, Graham kind of looks over at the desolate wasteland. Nice place you got here.
It didn't turn out as well as I'd hoped, yes.
I'm
But I'm
given to
still its king.
understand. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm still the king here, so.
Well, with no disrespect, other than the ones I have occasion for, you can have it. I understand you can send us back.
I'm not sure where back is, although you look much healthier than I could ever imagine the citizens here would be. Who precisely are you?
Well, I don't think we're from this place. I think we're from earlier in time before
We're from the
whatever this
timeline
was
before.
happened.
Yeah, we're from the timeline before you became king.
Fascinating. And that doesn't seem to answer my question.
Nah, it doesn't. But if you want him, my name's Graham.
It's not
Otto.
familiar to me. Graham, Otto, names I've never heard before. Wait,
You killed Elia Oak.
that name doesn't sound familiar. Graham and Otto. No, that is familiar to me. Why? He snaps his fingers. Crossblades.
Yep.
Hey,
My minion told me of you. And I must say, I'm not pleased with your guild.
what do they do now? I guess what do we do now?
Not you, your founders. Either way, I'm tired of dealing with you and I'm tired of talking. I have a search to continue.
What are you looking for?
I told you, I'm done talking with you. Goodbye. He kind of pats the dragon. And the dragon like got a wicked smile on its face as it opens up its mouth, and a torrent of flame shoots out and hits you all.
Yeah.
And you all kind of like snap
I hate
open.
when that happens.
And you find yourself on a road in Vaxfall, snow kind of pooling around you, a number of people standing over you. They're kind of looking at you. Are you all right? You see like a kind of dwarven man standing. Yeah. You passed out there for a moment. Yeah, you're out for maybe a minute or two.
Hey, you're finally awake. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was not pleasant.
You look like you're having a trouble there. You all
Do I
right?
recognize this dude?
The dwarf?
Yeah.
No, you don't recognize him.
All right.
Long journey. That's all.
On your feet, son. You're all right. I'll get you a drink. Get inside. Get somewhere warm.
Thank you. And I guess we go in.
Yep. You make your way back to the. You make your way back to your. You were on the street where you first met the orc courier.
Ah. And what was it he said with it, the message he gave us?
You have to start at the end.
Gotcha.
Which is where he sent us.
Yeah.
Magic face dust. Which is not as fun as it sounds.
I gotta stop taking gas station dick pills.
And where is Mr. Orc? He's gone.
You're looking for him. I haven't seen any orc today. I saw you fall over. And
we got a messenger, and wow,
I haven't
guess
seen
message
him.
received.
Sorry, son. I haven't seen him. Couldn't say.
Well, thank you. Let's get back on our feet and then be on our way.
All right. As you kind of clear your thoughts, the odd dream you had seems to remain in your mind, but not as sharp as it was.
Nice. Oh,
Isn't this here?
And you make your way back to the manor house.
Yeah.
All right. And we will end it here, and we'll pick this up next week.